Hey, hi guys, a quick video here to show you this new tent. Now, just before I go into this, I'll just say for a long time I've always liked the idea of the pop-up tent. Quick, easy, throw it on the ground, peg it out, and it's all done. And the only downside with the pop-up tent is the tents available for a long time have just been too big for practical use, for just sort of trekking and carrying on a motorbike, because they're folded down into too large a disc. Now recently, having looked at some reviews and seen one in a shop, there's this one, which is the Gelert Quickpitch SS Compact, and compact referring to the actual folded diameter, although the tent itself is pretty much as big as its Quickpitch two-man tent. Now, okay, the compact, as you can see, it's still not the smallest thing in the world, but at a diameter of 59 centimetres is considerably smaller than the 60 odd that you would get of the larger ones. Now, I remember looking at one of the original ones and thinking, fix it as a backpack, and the problem was it stuck out like a pair of wings at the side, and it would obviously act like a parachute at any kind of speed if you're carrying it on a motorbike. Whereas this one, as you can see, is only slightly wider really than shoulder width. So you can pack this as a backpack, if need be, fastened under your rucksack or something similar if you make a strap system for it, and it's really not that much wider, and as a result you wouldn't get that parachute effect. And in addition to that, you could actually fasten it to the side of some motorbikes, making carrying even easier still. So finally, it looks like we have something like a reasonable solution for a quick pitch tent that can be carried on a motorbike. So we'll open up the case printed in the same material as the tent. You can get very funky designs. If you're into the whole festival thing, you can get colourful, funky and really far out stuff. Personally, I went for this Woodland Camo just for the sort of wild camping approach. It's much more sensible. This particular one will cost me £35. You can get the sort of colourful festival type from £25 upwards. All the same, just different materials. Inside the tent, sewn in, inside the bag, is the packing and repacking, the unpacking rather, and repacking instructions, and they're actually sewn in a waterproof sort of material, so you're not going to get them lost or damaged, unlike most tents that come with a little paper pamphlet that if you keep in the tent gets soggy after the first use and is absolutely useless. So we'll take out the tent itself, which is held with an elastic band around it, which is affixed to the tent. Inside the bag, in addition to that, we have a pack of tent pegs, 8, one for each corner and one for the guy lines, and a repair kit, which consists of a tube of special adhesive and a reasonable sized square of matching material. That's the contents of the bag, so we'll just go ahead and pitch this up and see what it looks like. Right, well, as you can see there, that really was very quick to pitch. It's literally, the tent itself pops up in no time at all. You peg the four corners and then you peg the guy lines. Now I had to untie the guy lines there and retie a knot in the back one, so that took a little longer than you would normally do once you're pitching properly. That was the first time I've fully pitched the tent. I've opened it to have a look already, but it's the first time I've fully pitched it. So as you can see, that's very, very quick and easy. So we're going to have a quick walk around now and just have a look at the tent from all angles and the interior. So first thing you notice is that the woodland camo of the tent itself blends in quite well. You can see with the sort of dappled shadow of the tree there and the green that that's not at all intrusive, and it's not so noticeable, which is a good thing. So you're out trekking in the woods or what have you, camping for the night, it's not sort of in your face like the orange tent that I also have, which is an excellent tent, just a shame about the colour. You'll notice though that the guy lines are a very bright sort of neon yellowy green colour. I shall probably replace those with olive drab paracord, and apparently these adjusters are also glow in the dark, so I may very well replace those with something that isn't, because the whole point of this tent is, rather than going camping on a field where you want people to see the guy lines and glow in the dark adjusters, stop them tripping over and falling onto you in the night, such as a festival, I want it to be a little bit more stealthy and a little less noticeable on the whole. So as I say, if it's one of the festival tents you're going for, then it doesn't matter a jot, and it'll probably help immensely to stop drunken revellers landing on you in the night, which is always a good thing, I guess. So moving around to the back there, now you can see the way that some of the size is saved is the bottom loop on the earlier models and all other models of pop-up tent that you see so far. This is a patented design by Gelert, incidentally. You can see there that the bottom loop is missing, and you've basically just got this one huge fiberglass ring running around there, and the bottom's pegged out independently, which is, I presume this is how it enables it to pack down much more compactly. Is that a word even? I don't know. Enables it to pack down into a more compact format. How's that? So you can see the elastic securing strap down there. That's obviously something that I would tuck away once I'd pitched. And the only real shame is the big name stuck on the side, the Quickpitch SS, which is, I suppose, great for advertising for Gelert, but not so great for blending into the woodland. But yeah, on the whole, I can't really complain about that. And you've got another little logo down there as well. You've got a vent you can see up here, which I currently have a bracing piece missing for. So I'm trying to get one of those, and a vent here at the back which has the bracing piece in that you can see. It's basically just a stiffened piece with velcro tabs, and it holds the vent open to ensure airflow. Now that's important on one of these types of tents because it's single skin, and anybody that knows anything about camping will tell you that single skin tents are not the best when it comes to condensation, and the obvious immediate problem is it can get as wet inside the tent with condensation as it can outside with rain, so good ventilation is essential. Now that's the inside of the tent, so it's kind of tricky to tell on a video, but this is incredibly roomy. I say it's two-man. I'm just going to kind of climb in here and have a lay down. There's the vent on the back, there's the vent on the front, and you can see, if I kind of angle this down, my head's right at the back, my feet are almost at the front there, and I'm sort of right over on the edge. So if I would lay, say, about there, which is where I'd normally be, then there's bags of room for your pack, or whatever else you happen to be carrying, your luggage if you're on the back or what have you. So yeah, it's kind of good. I'm impressed with that. The only thing I'm not hugely impressed with, and I suppose this will be partially down to a weight saving, is the floor, which, while I'm sure it's nice and waterproof and it's got taped seams and all the rest of it, It's very thin, which means it could be pierced easily if you happen to miss a sharp stone or a sharp twig or something like that, even on the ground when you were clearing the area to pitch your tent. So what I will probably do, because I carry a sort of ground sheet kind of emergency blanket in my pack anyway, is lay that down first and then pitch this over that, which will also give it a little bit of extra insulation. But on the whole, I think the whole thing's fantastic. So I'm just going to stop this and show you that in addition to these vents, you've also got a huge one here. Now, obviously, if you want your privacy, it's not so great, because you open this up and you've got a mesh screen there to stop the bugs and things getting in. But of course you can see right out, and presumably anyone outside can see right in, which may not be the best scenario. You can kind of customise this a little and just twiddle it to open or close just a little bit to give you that extra ventilation, which is great. And as I say, very important in a single skin tent. But if you're out in the wilds, then something like that's really not going to bother you. Have that open for extra ventilation. That's a good thing to have. Okay, so I'll wriggle out of the tent. So there's the tent. What I'm going to do now is put this back on the tripod and actually pack the tent down, and we'll see how easy that is to pack away. It's supposed to be quite straightforward. I've had a quick go already and it doesn't seem too complicated, so fingers crossed it'll be as easy as they say. Everything unpegged and the pegs back into the little tent bag, which I'll put down there. For the following, the instructions are as follows. Take the tent with the door on the right hand side. Make sure that the stairways are folded in and out of the way as best you can. Make sure you've got no small rodents or anything trapped inside. Hold in the doorway, hold in the back. Roll the tent over onto its side, hold it over its side, and it's a circle at this point, but I'm sure you know what I mean. And push down, and it will form a natural figure of 8 shape. Again, so push down to form a natural figure of 8 shape. Hold it over like so. A little tricky at 1 or 2 points there, it does feel quite tight. I feel like you're kind of forcing it a bit. But I guess that's all part of the process. And you then find your retaining strap. Wrap that around. Point, squash a bit of the wind out, just took things away, and especially guy lines. And there you have it. So yeah, it really is quite easy to pack away, as you can see there. Packs away quite nicely, and slip that back into your pack and you're ready to go. So yeah, all in all, I've got to say I'm very, very impressed with this, and I can highly recommend it for anybody who wants specifically a pop-up tent for ease of pitching and folding away. And because as tricky as they are to fold, once you get the knack, they're still far easier and quicker than a standard pitching tent, where you've got to fold them in a precise way to fit them back into the packs that they come in. So in all, I've got to say I'm very pleased with this. I can highly recommend it. Hopefully I'll still be able to highly recommend it once I've tested it out in the rain. But the reviews that I've read so far online are good, and Gelert is of course a very well-known brand name, so yeah, I'm sure we'd have heard by now if there was anything amiss. So thanks for watching, I hope that's been useful.